not dead yet, right? I'm not dead yet. And hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's the start of the war season, and if you've been watching my channel, you know I really enjoy war. Yes, it could get better, but I still love it for what it is. We've got 6 awesome fights for you. Apocalypse and Cable come in actually really clutch, especially Cable. Can't wait to get for that. And also, yes, I am back in for Loki. Some of you have probably just watched the video I made like 3 months ago saying that I was leaving for Loki. A lot has happened, and I will talk about that maybe a little bit later in this video. And then again, if you're enjoying this video, if you're enjoying the content, please make sure to subscribe, even consider hitting that notification button. That is actually helpful. And then last, give it a thumbs up. That way I know you're enjoying the war videos, enjoying the war content, and I will continue to make them. All right, let's jump into this. Let's have some fun. Starting off with this fight against Hitmonkey. Usually, I'm used to taking him with Archangel, thanks to the alliance I was in last season, SSX1, a Platinum 1 Masters level alliance, and the BG leader there, DLL. I got very used to taking Archangel in. It really allowed for the fights to slow down for me, to get used to the defenders, and then of course get used to Archangel. I know that sounds silly, but it was extremely helpful to me, and I appreciate the heck out of it. Now, I'm in for Loki. Yes, we are taking the season a little bit easier than normal. However, we were trying this war. We were going full out. And so I'm bringing in Apocalypse, and now I wondered why. When I saw that I was assigned Apocalypse, I was like, I can take this fight so easily with Archangel. I wonder what Lizer has in mind, and Delion. And then it became abundantly clear to me, I'm going to get to make Archangel a horseman. I've never actually done that before. It happened, I know that sounds weird. It happened once. My buddy Strands happened to have his Apocalypse charged up. We just happened to meet up on a final node in a war, and he helped me make my Archangel a horseman, but it's never been intentional. It's never been part of the plan. And as you see, Apocalypse works incredibly well for that Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey cannot shrug with the reduced ability, shrug ability there. Apocalypse hammers it home. He starts off fully charged up because of Cable. It was a beautiful thing. I really enjoyed that. Now, here's the fight. Here's one of the fights I really want to talk through with you, because this node is different than it was in previous seasons. As you can see, I was able to make Archangel a horseman there, which is a big deal, very helpful, right? Not necessary. I've taken this fight before plenty of times and had no trouble without the horseman, but you're going to see how nice this is. Now here's a change. This node used to have powerful from afar on it. It now has rise to power, which originally I thought was going to maybe be a little bit more difficult and kind of like an anti-Archangel node, because you will be knocking Domino down so frequently. But you're going to see here, as I got into the fight, I realized maybe that's the intention, maybe that's kind of how it plays out a little bit, but because powerful from afar was removed, this made it so you can just bait specials. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's watch how it goes. Now, if you haven't seen this fight from me before, or you're unfamiliar with it, in my opinion, you're going to want to back away. At the start of the fight, you're going to want to back away. Do not try to land that initial parry. The one time I died to this fight in all these seasons was because I tried to parry right at the beginning. It was like I'd never fought in Domino before. I'm not sure what I was thinking. So we're going to back up, and then now this really should just be a parry heavy. I know I talk about how Archangel doesn't necessarily have to do that, or you can use it in fights where you will be back F intercepting, things like that. You've seen me do that against Weapon X many times. But right now, all I'm doing is parry and heavy. I have the Indestructible boost on because I'm fighting Fury next. We've got the neurotoxins, but this is what I'm talking about. And you saw it right about there is where it happened. To realize, like, oh wait, I can just back up and not worry anymore. I mean, that was still the strategy to the fight previously, but now you just back up and bait, and those 4 seconds go by, she throws her specials. You don't even need to worry about power nearly as much, or her power gain nearly as much as you used to. So that was an absolute blast. Now, coming into Fury, Fury has off and on been a real problem for me. Not just the joke of me not being able to pull the 6-star Nick Fury, but me fighting him. I think I had 3 deaths last season, and 2 of them I think were to Nick Fury. A lot of it was just getting the spacing right on his heavy. I think we're going to get to see a few interactions with that here in his second life. because he does go stun immune, right? And it's just it's an initial step back, and then you interrupt his heavy, right? Hopefully we'll get a chance to look at it here. I don't recall exactly, but we've got this kinetic transference, aspect of evolution. Can become a little bit of a problem if you play it right. And what I went in, I still had the indestructible boost. So what I decided I was going to do is I'm just going to get his first life down as quickly as possible. I'm not going to worry about trying to time an SP3 with his life model decoy. I've had that happen before and it went weird. I don't know if the fight was bugged. I have no idea. But I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to actually use kinetic transference as best I can to push him to his SP2. That's much more easily evadable for me. As you can see, I'm getting great RNG, horsemen, things like that. That's helping out. This is great. And so now we've triggered the second life. I should have done a better job there of recognizing that he would purify the stun when he went into second life, but it's fine. And I'm hoping we get a chance to interrupt a heavy here. Let's see if we're going to get one. Oh, see, there you go. Hey, a little bit of non-parry heavy out of Archangel. It's always fun to see. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a chance to see it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure I'll be fighting Fury over the course of the season a few more times, and we'll get a chance to see that happen. So he's already down. Very, very quick fight. Archangel is incredible as a horseman. He's incredible without. Does not need it in any way, shape, or form. But when you're able to do it, holy smokes, you see what he can do with fights like that. And then, you know, this is actually a tough fight. You know, I know there's a lot of like the maps gotten easier and things like that, and it probably has. It probably has. But some fights are still extremely difficult, maybe even more difficult. Look at this feat of indestructible here. This used to be a magic fight. This used to be a magic fight because once you could get the power lock on, right? We've talked about that with magic. You get that power lock on, typically the fight is over. Here's the problem. When the attacker reaches 2 bars of power, the defender gains indestructible buff, causing him to ignore all damage for 5 seconds. That's going to be a real issue because you can't get the power lock on with magic until you get to the SP2, then you get the SP2. This could get out of control very, very easily. I believe that's what happened. I also know that it's an absolutely amazing player in my battle group who took this fight, and obviously it went sideways. And so I think there's also possibly some phone issues going on and things like that. So it is what it is, but I was asked, do I think I can take this with Archangel? I was like, yes, I definitely can. I did wish I still had the indestructible boost on because of kinetic transference and Doom just being Doom. I would have liked that security blanket, but I had literally been talking on stream that same day about how I've learned how to evade the special 2 thanks to my buddy Spinnaker. He has a YouTube channel. I will link that in the description. Check it out. A really, really fun and excellent channel. Drops a lot of knowledge in there, but that's not the point. The point is I was very confident that I knew how to bait the special 2. This excellent player in my BG had already taken off almost 50% of the health. Like, all I need to do is probably, land 4 parry heavies. I don't even know if Doom's going to get to his special 2. And then I realized, you know, I didn't get the best RNG there. Let's see, hopefully we can get a little... That's not great. That's not great. But this is because it's Doom, right? There's a little bit because it's Doom and the way that interaction works. So this is still okay. We're still okay. And then here's where I'm pausing this. I'm at 93% health. He's at 45. All I have to do is probably land, honestly, maybe 2 or 3 more heavies. In fact, I could block this and maybe we'll get some poisons on him. But I've been talking, I was on stream saying, I know how to evade this special 2. And honestly, I've probably fought Doom 5 to 8 times since I've watched Spinnaker's video and gotten better at the SP2 evade. And I know I've nailed it every single time. There was no part of me that even for a second thought I would mess up this evade. Let's take a look and see what happens. Oh, not good. Not good. Now, if anyone who's ever done this, you know how, usually that's death sentence. You are done. Give up, put your phone down, go for a walk, do what you need to do. But I noticed that, you know, I went unstoppable. I'm not dead yet, right? I'm not dead yet. And so I'm going to see if I can pull this off, because why not, right? This is a war. We are trying. I said I could handle this, and they had confidence in me. So I'm going to try my best. And I'm already thinking, okay, I want to try to get some healing back with adrenaline. This is a 6 star. Let's get the best I possibly can. I healed up to full for a reason for this fight. And if I intercept and play well, and I know how to evade the specials, I don't have to get hit. I don't have to get hit. I'm always the one saying you don't have to parry heavy with Archangel. Yes, it's much better. It's a significantly more efficient way to play him, but you don't have to do it. So what you're gonna see is if and when Doom gets to his specials or bars of power, I'm going to block immediately in an effort to tell the AI it is not safe to throw a special. It is not safe to throw a special. I'd rather not have to deal with that if I don't need to. And let's see how this works out. I'm very excited to show this to you. So it is my own fault for getting to this point. I'm very proud of how I handled it after we got to this. Let's check this out. Got so lucky, those incinerates 1%, right? And somehow we're going less than 1%, getting a little bit of the adrenaline back. Got the snazzy intercept there. Now I'm like, just do not throw your special. And see, I am dexing those. Immediately going into the block. Look, that's not going to work every time, but if you're in that situation, do what you can to tell the AI, do not throw a special. It is not safe. Immediately get to the block. You might be all right. Then they DM me and they're like, hey, Vega, actually, can you take the Sorcerer Supreme on the power gain mini? And I was like, yeah, I can. Just let me help finish, doing the a few things. It was a family dinner and bedtime and all that good stuff. And so I went to that, and this Cosmic Ghost Rider was still blocking the way to Sorcerer. And so I talked to Liza and I said, hey, I can take CGR, no problem. Let me do it with Cable. I don't believe I've gotten to use Cable in a war since I took him to rank 3. That is over 2 war seasons ago. I was so excited to take him. And sometimes it just doesn't work out, but I got to take him in. Clearly, they meant him purely just to be a battery for Apocalypse. And even Liza was like, are you sure this is going to be okay? I was like, yes, it's going to be fine. I will tell you when I'm not confident, and I'm 100% confident. So she was very interested on, am I going to need to use, worry about Hurt Locker, Power and Focus, any of this stuff? Nope, this is Cable, right? And we've talked about one of the amazing things about Cable is that he's able to do damage without throwing his specials. So many nodes, things like that, like this. They're going to mess with your specials, whether it's the order you have to throw them in, or maybe you can't even gain any power at all. And look at the immense amount of damage this guy can put out by literally just having, I don't even think I do any combos. I might. To be honest, I know the SP1 evade for Cosmic Ghost Rider very well, so this is just going to be about setting that up. It's going to be unblockable. Fine. Who cares, right? Cable's doing Cable things. We even got a nice power gain here. I'm not really too excited about throwing his special 2 because there's the Incinerate on it. Yeah, I figured if I needed to throw the SP3, if for some reason I get backed up, trying to bait the SP1 of CGR and he just doesn't want to throw it, then I'll use the SP3 or something like that. But really, 12 hits, 14 hits, and CGR is already almost dead. This is a mini boss with a pretty decent sized health pool. Looks like we're going to get to 18 hits. I know me, I'm probably going to try to not hit him at all again because I want to keep it under 20. I enjoy watching them slowly die in that little fall over that they do. Cable is an absolute beast when he works. I don't know if there's necessarily anyone better, right? He's just as good. And then moving on to the Sorcerer bot. I have been wanting to take this fight with Archangel for a very long time. Usually I'm sent in with magic. It's a little bit scary because aspect evolution, of course, then they improve power gain. And once Sorcerer gets going, it is a real problem. And with magic, you're obviously trying to power lock Sorcerer, which means you're starting with a special 1 boost, which means if Sorcerer even gets to her SP3, if something goes wrong between you getting your power lock on and Sorcerer getting to SP3, so if she gets to SP3 first before you get the power lock on, you're done. There's nothing you can do. But with Archangel, you can often, as you're going to see, you can get this fight done in a way because he can do so much damage so quickly or potentially turn things off that you can get this fight over before she even gets to her SP3, and you can use an indestructible boost as insurance should she get to SP3, which means you can play with borderline reckless abandon or at least have that as your strategy. So my strategy in this fight was, of course, to do as much damage as possible. As you can see, I've already got 3 Neuros on, so that was very helpful. Let's not pretend like it wasn't. The RNG was in my favor, which is great, but even fine. And I decided, like, I'm gonna try to evade this. I know how to do it. I saw I messed up once and was like, okay, I do not want to lose my indestructible boost. That's my insurance policy. So I will block it from here on out. 4 neuros on, she is dead. I'm gonna try the tactic of just holding block, and look, she knew, don't throw specials. Do not throw any specials. And here's the thing, being serious for a minute, is if she had, it would have been totally fine, and that because that's why I had the indestructible boost on. So using Archangel in that way, I could have sent her to 3 SP3s, 2 after I missed the evade on that one. And as you can see, oftentimes you're not going to need to use any of the indestructibles because you're actually going to finish the fight before she gets to her SP3. This was a really fun war. I had a blast. It felt great to not only use champions I enjoy, to get to take a couple fights with Apocalypse and Cable, but also to get to take on fights that I've been wanting to try out, and they just happen to work out. They're not always going to work out, but it worked out. And then, of course, it feels good to play a role, to feel like you're doing something that's helpful to your BG. And then I did say I would talk briefly about being back in for Loki. We did unfortunately lose this war. 2-1-1 played excellently. I mean, extremely well. Congratulations to them. They just won the war. It is what it is. And in For Loki, we are taking a little bit of the season off, and that's a great segue into. So yes, I am back in For Loki. All of the things I talked about in my leaving For Loki video that I did not realize a lot of people would watch are still very true. My family is still extremely important to me. This YouTube channel is becoming increasingly important to me, and it takes time. But I talked to the folks at For Loki, some of the leaders that I really like. They're great people. And they said, look, we think we can make this work. We think we can make this work. We can set some things up. And, you know, let's not kid ourselves. One, I really like them, and I believe they enjoy having me in the alliance too, but I do have high prestige in my account, so it's beneficial. So everyone was motivated to make this work, and I thought, like, yeah, we can give this a try, but, you know, summer's coming up, which means I'm going to be even busier. And said, well, here's the beautiful thing. We're actually taking the season off. My other alliance, SSX1, that I was in, is not taking the season off. They're a very serious war alliance. They're excellent at it. And I talked to them, and they're like, yeah, you know, we get it. Go see if you can make this work for Loki in a season that they're taking off. Makes even more sense. And so if this works, if we can make it work, and I feel like I'm not holding the group up or holding the group back, and they're contented with how I'm playing, then I'm just going to stay here because I do really like it. I enjoy the personalities and the people that are in For Loki. And then if it doesn't work, that is absolutely fine too, because I have just as many friends in SSX1 as well, and I would probably look to just go directly back. I left on very good terms, and as you know, there are excellent players in there as well, and I would still be able to take war very seriously because, as I said to start off this video, I enjoy it. It is just fun for me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, maybe a comment or a share, letting me know, like, hey dude, keep doing the war stuff. Or maybe, you know, chill out on it for a bit. I probably will still get them out because I just enjoy doing it. But it is always helpful knowing what I can and should prioritize and that you're enjoying seeing. I hope your war season got off to a great start. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.